That was really awkward because I had my mic muted, but I don't have time to re-record this. So what's going on, everyone? My name is Under the Radar, and welcome back to another draft analysis. This is going to be the last Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon draft league that I do. So this is going to be the Eon World Trophy. It is hosted by Automatic, and it is a very interesting league because it is point-based, which is my least favorite way to draft. But we're doing it. It also has Z captains, which I think is absolutely stupid. But you know what? It is what it is. This is the last opportunity for me to get use some of the amazing mons that I've always wanted to use. So let's just jump right into the first mon I drafted. And I drafted Mega Glade. Round 1. I think I had like the 8th pick or some shit. Out of like 16 people, I think, maybe 12, I don't know. However, Mega Glade, you should know what it does by now. It is one of the most potent wall breakers in the draft league format. It is so unbelievably strong and powerful. Love this Pokemon. Never used it. Now, how do you build around this thing? I didn't want this thing to be my main cleaner because I don't think it's fast enough to be a cleaner. I wanted to have something else to be a cleaner. So I wanted to use this to be a potential stall breaker, a potential regular breaker, and a potential Pokemon to threaten out some things that I wanted to build a weakness for. So the whole idea that I had with this draft is I wanted to draft a bunch of Pokemon that were weak to the exact same thing. 2 immunities, a couple resistances, and a bunch of Pokemon that just beat them down flat out. So you guys are going to see what I mean as I go through this draft analysis. It'll make more and more sense to you. So Mega Glade, first overall, unbelievably hard-hitting Pokemon, and I'm super excited to use it. Now, the way that you beat down this thing's checks, it can't really break through bulky Psychics that well, and it can't really break through bulky Fairies that well, so I wanted to get a really good offensive core to help out with that, and the best Pursuit Trapper in the game, Tyranitar, is what I went for next. So now, bulky Psychics, the only one that can really take on Tyranitar really well is Necrozma, because it's not weak to Pursuit. It kind of is, but not actually weak to Pursuit. So I went with this bad boy because it said sand, and obviously you guys should know how I am. I love sand, or I love weather in general, so I wanted to go ahead and make my last team a sand team, and I'm probably going to try to make my first Sword and Shield draft a weather team as well, because we've already seen my Pelipper and Tyranitar. That gives me hope. So I now have a really good sand setter, a Pursuit Trapper, a nice reliable Stealth Rocker, and a pretty bulky boy all around, and I'm really excited for it. So unfortunately, homeboy Curse, he sniped me of Excadrill when he had a Kyurem Black already, and that kind of sort of pissed me off, but you know, it's whatever. I figured instead of going the traditional sand route, let's go a different route with sand. So I went ahead and drafted Lando I with Sand Force. What this is this is the premier wall breaker. This thing is so stupid hard hitting. Base 125 physical attack. In sand, I think it doubles it, or like gives it an automatic choice band plus another choice band. Like, it's so stupid strong. This thing, it has the potential to be one of the strongest wall breakers in the game, and this is also going to be one of my Z captains, meaning I have access to Z Fly, Rock Polish Z Fly, Swords Dance Z Fly, Earthquake. I can run mixed. I can run Calm Mind super reliably because it has like 115 special attack. So this Pokemon has a lot of potential. And a lot of things that want to switch into Lando are bulky Psychics. That also switches into Mega Glade, meaning that people aren't going to have enough ability to be able to switch in their bulky Psychic into Mega Glade and Lando I. So that was the whole idea behind these 3 picks. I wanted to have a bunch of things that pressured bulky Psychics, so that way everything else just pretty much dies to these 2. Bulky waters don't really matter, bulky grasses don't really matter, Z Fly, like so much. And with sand, they can't synthesis up, so they have to rely on Strength Sap or Recover. There's very few. Celebi's one of them, meaning I can Pursuit Trap it. So this trio of offense is really nice. And now I wanted to go into the wall core that I had an idea for. And I haven't ever used a lot of these mons. Some of them I have used. I've never used these 3. I've used Lando T. I've never used Mega Glade, and I used T-Tar back in 6th gen, but that was back before like a bunch of like That was before I knew how to play. So so next up, I want Tentacruel. I wanted Toxic Spikes. I think that with these three offensive behemoths, it's going to be really, really difficult for people to be able to deal with its offensive power, along with the annoyance is the word that I'm going to use of Toxic Spikes. It also gives me a reliable Rapid Spinner, so I don't have to worry about defog on Lando. But most importantly, it gave me a grounded Toxic Spiker that also absorbs Toxic Spikes and can Rapid Spin. It's also a pretty good bulky water type, and it gives me a ground weakness along with T-Tar, meaning that people are going to try to spam Earthquake versus me. And I have a bunch of ways that I'm going to try to mitigate that you guys are going to see here in a little bit. I also have an idea for something later on that I wanted to get two more things that benefit from the sand, that are not hurt by it but benefit from it. So let's keep that in mind. So I needed a grass type, because right now my team is extremely 1,000 arrows weak. I have nothing that can really take on a Zygarde. So I wanted to have Decidueye. Decidueye gives me 1,000 arrows resist. It gives me a U-turner, it gives me a defogger, it gives me a bunch of really good nice utility options, and it gives me an earthquake resistance. So I have 2 earthquake weaknesses and a resistance and an immunity. So people are going to see that I'm really weak to Earthquake, but then they're going to see that I have a bunch of ways around it as well. So that was the whole idea. Same with fighting. As you can see, I have T-Tar, which is quad weak to fighting. I have 3 resistances and an immunity. So fighting isn't really super spammable versus me either, which is really, really cool. But this thing basically gave me, it was either this or Delmise. I've already used Delmise. I wanted to use Decidueye. That was literally the only reason why I took this thing over anything else. But yeah, really nice utility. I'm really excited for it. Then I went with Aromatisse, old reliable, really good fairy type. Wish Pass, Moonblast, Trick Room, Nasty Plot. I wanted to bring Trick Room specifically because my team does have a few slower mons on it, and I wanted to make sure that I had some ways of taking advantage of that. This Pokemon also has a bunch of ways of just being really threatening on its own. And really difficult because you can't taunt it, meaning that if I'm Wish Protect Heal Bell, I'm always able to Wish Up Protect, always able to Heal Bell all status on my Pokemon because of its amazing ability to Roam Veil. So really good Cleric, really reliable Cleric, and with me not having any reliable recovery on my bulky water, I wanted to make sure I had a really reliable Wish Passer. That was the whole thing that I wanted. So I went with Aromatisse. Really good Pokemon. Next up, we have Heliolisk. This is one Pokemon that benefits from the sand. I can have Sand Veil. Dry Skin also means that I have an immunity to Scald now, which is really, really cool. And it is another Earthquake weakness. So I now have 3 Earthquake weaknesses. I have an immunity, and I have a resistance. So it's also another fighting weakness. And as you already see, I now have 4 resistances and an immunity. So the whole idea, moves that half my team is weak to, my other half either resists it or is immune to it. That was the whole idea. So really good reliable electric type. It was one of my favorites that I've ever used. I used it in NPA and it was really cool. I love this Pokemon. It was a lot of fun for sure. Next up, we went with Xatu, another earthquake immunity and fighting quad resistance to be able to soak up a bunch of things. I've said before many times that I think hazard removal is completely overrated. I think that hazard deterrence is much better. So drafting things that aren't weak to hazards, drafting a grounded toxic spike user, drafting things that aren't affected by spikes, they're huge. And as you can see, I have a grounded poison type to absorb toxic spikes. I don't have a single rocks weakness on this team aside from Xatu, which can bounce back themselves, which can bounce back Stealth Rocks itself. And my main form of offense in Lando T, like my main breaker, is not weak to spikes. It's like normal to Stealth Rocks. So I definitely think that I have a really good hazard like deterrence. Like people don't gain much from hazard stacking me. People don't gain much from like stacking hazards against me. And now with this amazing Xatu, they really don't have many reasons to hazard stack me. So next up, we went with Heatran, a big boy late on in the draft. I went with this because I wanted a steel type, I wanted a fire type, I wanted something that could get stealth rocks, I wanted phasing, I wanted a decent speed tier taunter, and most importantly, I wanted another ground and fighting weakness, because as you can see, I have so many checks to them. So people can try to spam fighting and earthquake versus me. That's fine. I have so many good checks to both of those moves. So that's kind of what I went for there. So next up we have, as soon as I can, oh my god, click on the stupid button. Next up we have Tyrantrum. So I have Tyranitar and Tyrantrum. Why did I go with this Pokemon? Gave me another Stealth Rocker, which is really nice, meaning I now have 4 really reliable Stealth Rockers and a really reliable Toxic Spikes user. However, I don't have much setup threats. Like, I have like Decidueye with Swords Dance, I have D-Dance T-Tar, I have like set up Lando and like SD bulk up Gallade, but I don't have anything that's just like Dragon Dance setup scary. I have Calm Mind on a few things, but I don't have Dragon Dance. Now, in the sand, this thing has a beefed up Spadef, it has a really good natural Fizdef, and that means that it can Dragon Dance up practically for free, meaning that it can hit stupid hard with those adamant head smashes. Rock Polish makes it really, really good. So I wanted to have something that benefited from the sand, that could set up or could just be a freaking nuke and break through something. This thing, like, even things that resist rock don't resist Choice Banded Adamant Head Smash. So I really like T-Tar. I really like Tyrantrum on this team. Now this next slide is a little bit messed up, but it still does show the Pokemon that I got in the last round, and that was wait Stoutland. So I got Stoutland last round. One, because my last name is Stout, meaning that this is literally my Pokemon. I've considered making my mascot many times, but I also wanted something that was just really good speed check, like a really good speed tier, really good speed control. Second I get up sand, this thing hits really hard, and if something on my team goes down, I send this thing and I hit Choice Banded Retaliate. This is my second Z Crystal holder. And this thing has phenomenal coverage for no goddamn reason. Has like Superpower, Play Rough, Crunch, Elemental Fangs. It has, I believe it has Rock Slide. It's stupid. This thing has great coverage, making it a really good Z move user because of its speed. But that is going to be the team for the EWT. I'm sorry I'm rushing through this, but it's supposed to be up today, and I'm really going to try to get it up for you guys today. But with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Thank you all so much for watching. WBE this week was late. It is coming up this week, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.